we're back. Thanks for joining us again. I'm Elliott Serrano. This is Jose Melendez, and thank you for joining us on the Comic Culture Warrior YouTube video channel. And what we're going to do now is we're going to get a little bit into some books, some trades, and stuff that we like, and hopefully introduce you to, if you'd like as well. Scalped by Jason Aaron and R.M. Guerra. I've heard about this book, but I haven't read it. Jose, you have. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, it's pretty much about, it takes place on an Indian reservation, that is soon going to be opening up a casino. It opens up first issue of the first trade. There's 2 trades out so far of it. This guy comes back, Dashiell Bad Horse. He's been off the reservation for 15 years. Comes back out of nowhere. Nobody knows what happened to him, what he's been doing, but he shows up, starts drinking at a bar, and starts fucking around with a couple of ruffians who work for Lincoln Rudcrow, who is the head chief, no pun intended, of the reservation, who is opening up the casino and who's the number 1 bad guy in the book.
Are we getting into spoiler territory here?
Yeah, probably spoilers. Yeah, probably. But I mean, I give really bad reviews. That's why I don't write ever. So a little meandering sometimes. But to be more concise, what happens is in the first issue, Bad Horse gets taken in to meet Red Crow, and Red Crow's like, "Well, you've been for 15 years. Now you show up and you're fucking up with my shit. You're messing up my guys. Come to an agreement where Dashiell Bad Horse is going to be the new sheriff of the reservation, working for Lincoln Rudcrow. And then what happens at the very end of the first issue is that it turns out that Dashiell Bad Horse has been gone for 15 years, and he has since joined the police academy, and he's now an FBI agent.
Ooh, okay.
So he's an undercover FBI agent who is there, who they planted in now with Lincoln Rudcrow to bring Lincoln Rudcrow down. But it's very good stuff. It has elements of crime noir in it. A lot of great characterization. Very, very intelligent. Very mature. A lot of sex and swearing all over the place, which I love in comics. Or in any kind of medium.
I was going to say
medium,
sex and swearing.
Fucking swearing in any fucking medium. It's fucking tits. But this book comes highly recommended. If you like any of the other Vertigo books, like DMZ, Preacher, Fables, they're all different, obviously, but all immature tone and do not talk down to you at all. Just very great fucking read, man.
But is this really a high-selling book? I mean, the Vertigo books typically they work for the trade.
They work for the trade. Yeah, I mean, it sells moderately well for its own. If you're comparing it to other indie books and other Vertigo books, it sells moderately well.
Okay.
If you're comparing it to mainstream DC, mainstream Marvel, the numbers aren't anywhere near those. But the trades, I mean, we sell more of the trade than we do a monthly issue.
Right.
So Scalp, say we sell 20 issues of Scalp, okay? We'll sell, easily we'll sell 20 copies of the trade within the first 2 months. Because people are always waiting for the trade on Vertigo stuff.
Right.
And it's just really weird to see. I mean, I wonder what would happen if they just went to straight trades and you can sell the same amount in trade as you would in individual issues, and you would still sell that many in every 3 months if a new trade came out.
People will wait a year for a new Stephen King book. So,
yeah.
I mean, maybe that there. That's been a debate that's been going on for a while. A buddy of mine, Matt Maxwell, that you'll read on the Comics Waiting Room, writes The Full Bleed, just came out with a trade himself called
I read about that.
Strange Ways, and we'll see, because they're saying that moving towards creating the trade paperback, the OGN, original graphic novel, could be the way of the future. Although, I think there's still something to be said. I think there's life left in the monthlies because...
No, I think so too, but I think that a book like this would do better in trades. Entirely different animal than like a mainstream book. And to me, I like reading these trades because there's so much substance in every issue that I couldn't imagine reading this book every month because there's a cliffhanger at the end of every one, and I can't imagine waiting 30 days to read another 22 pages.
And the book comes out on time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Another book that you got me into, and which was released in trade, we talked about this before, is Casanova, and the first volume called Luxuria, written by Matt Fraction with art by Gabriel Ba.
Of Umbrella Academy fame.
Of Umbrella Academy fame, yes. Gabriel Ba actually couldn't do, if I read correctly, he couldn't do the following arc of Casanova because he was doing Umbrella Academy and had a lot going on, which is fine because the artist, I think it's his brother, does the following story arc, and it's still awesome. It collects the first story arc of the slimline book Casanova. There are two slimline books right now that Image is putting out: Casanova and Fell. By Warren Ellis, which to me are the two of the best books out there. I have one knock on Casanova. Don't get me wrong. It's brilliantly written. This stuff will bend your brain. This book was coming out, the Slimline books, the monthly was coming out around the same time as Next Wave, Agents of Hate, another book that I loved, and the two seem so similar.
And if any of you have never read Next Wave, Agents of Hate, just because it's a Marvel book, you just read it, because it doesn't read like a Marvel book. It is one of the best books ever made, and that's why it only lasted 12 issues.
It's Marvel couldn't pay Stuart Immonen. I guess they couldn't pay him to make it worth them staying on the book.
Yeah, and it's kind of bullshit.
Well,
I mean...
But anyway, back to Casanova. Great book, great read, incredibly affordable. The trade is $12.99.
Yeah.
One of the most affordably priced trades out there. What's my knock on it? This is the book I would love to introduce kids to. Kids can't read it because, and I'm not even going to talk about the violence. I mean, there's quite a bit of sex and swearing. Slimline books, to me, and affordably priced trades are exactly what you need to get. I think you need to get kids into reading, and don't get me wrong, and really well written books too. This is an excellent, well written book. Matt Fraction, you've turned me on to him big time. This is a great book, but you can't give this to a 10-year-old again. So I mean, I guess if that's the biggest knock on it, it's really not.
But I mean, that's like you can't really knock an awesome book just because a kid can't read it.
Yes, you can. But to me,
it's like you're gonna knock an awesome movie like Michael Clayton because a kid doesn't understand it. I'm not
understand it, but there's just subject matter in it. I
mean, which is exactly the same as this.
There's some Stephen King books that I would have my kids read. I mean, I would let a 10-year-old read, like, let's say, It. Yeah. It's gonna scare the crap out of them. But it still deals with the subject matter in a way where I don't have to worry about explaining to my kid later. Okay, so if my kid reads It, I have to explain, is there really an evil clown in the sewer? But anyway, that's my only knock. Otherwise, grab that book. I'd love to see Matt Fraction write an all-ages book. And then we talked about Warren Ellis with Next Wave, Agents of Hate. And with the Iron Man movie coming out, of course, you have to talk about the Extremis trade that collects the 6 issues of the Iron Man reboot, the Invincible Iron Man reboot that Warren Ellis did with Adi Granoff. And if you ask me, it's because of this they're making the Iron Man movie.
I believe so too.
You know, this made Iron Man. I know Jon Favreau is using Adi Granoff's designs for the Iron Man armor. And even had Adi Granoff do the teaser poster. So this is why they're making an Iron Man movie. And again, it's a great writer and a good artist, great artist getting together and taking a character and taking him places where it seemed obvious at first, and yet no one seemed to pick up on it. So, but it's a Marvel book, and I know it's hard for you to say the Marvel books are. Because saying Next Wave was great, I know hurt.
No, it didn't. What hurts is that every Marvel book that I like ends up getting canceled at some point. Next Wave.